Congratulations! You were part of the Chevron-operated Gorgan project, one of the world's largest natural gas projects and the largest single resource development in Australia's history. Take a moment to consider what that means. Gorgan's size and technical complexity puts it on par with nation-building projects like the Snowy Mountain Scheme, the Sydney Harbour Bridge and the Perth to Kalgoorlie water pipeline. Icons of our country's industrial capacity. Gorgan will provide a legacy for Australia which will last many years. By working on it, you are contributing in a meaningful, substantial way to a project which will benefit the entire country, our people and our economy. Gorgan is a vast, complex and challenging project and requires the combined expertise of thousands of people from many different backgrounds and parts of the world, working together to deliver a project that will provide essential energy for Western Australia and international customers for decades to come.
Welcome to Subsea 7 and the Gorgan project. In particular, welcome to Australia and our team based here in Perth and spread across the Asia-Pacific territory. We're a seabed-to-surface engineering, construction and services contractor to the worldwide offshore energy industry. We're recognised throughout the industry for our commitment to safety and the quality of our work. Subsea 7 is truly committed to an incident-free workplace, every day, everywhere. Safety is a core value of ours. It's our first priority and will not be compromised. We are each responsible for ensuring that safety is at the heart of our operations. If you don't think a job can be done safely, then don't start it. With all of us working together as one cohesive team, we're looking forward to a job well done and to bringing you home safely.
The Gorgan project is under construction on Barrow Island, which is located about 60 kilometres off the northwest coast of Western Australia and approximately 2 hours flight from Perth. This is also where Australia's largest onshore oil field has been operating since 1967. The Gorgan project is developing the Gorgan and Janz IO gas fields located within the Greater Gorgan area between 130 and 220 kilometres off the northwest coast of Western Australia. Gorgan involves the construction of a 3-train, 15.6 million tonne per annum liquefied natural gas plant on Barrow Island, and a domestic gas plant with the capacity to provide 300 terajoules of gas per day to Western Australia. It also involves the design and construction of the world's largest commercial-scale carbon dioxide injection facility. The first LNG cargo is due to be loaded in 2015. But there's a lot to be done, and everyone on the Subsea 7 team is vital to the timely and safe delivery of this project, with minimum impact to the environment. Subsea 7 will bring its expertise in the installation and commissioning of seabed-to-surface projects to the Gorgan project. Gorgan will be developed using subsea technology at the Gorgan and Janz IO fields, linking to the onshore LNG plant through a system of pipelines and control umbilicals. Initially, we were awarded the umbilical installation and trenching contract, which involved nearly 200 kilometres of umbilicals being installed in 3 sections, in water depths of up to 1,350 metres, one of the deepest ever in Australian waters. Now we are about to commence our work on the heavy lift and tie-in scope. The work includes engineering, spool fabrication, transportation, offshore installation of large structures, spool pieces, and infield umbilicals.
If you broke it down into the small pieces, it's a relatively straightforward job. The complexity is when you look at the volume and the size of what we have. I mean, Subsea 7 is very familiar with installing, structures, manifolds in deep water. But when you put it at the scale of Gorgan, it's quite unique.
Some of the spools that we're dealing with are over 150 metres long and they barely fit inside Subiaco Oval. And the crane that we need to lift these spools is massive again. Its boom will be over 100 metres long. the boom will be taller than most buildings in the CBD.
On the structures themselves, the largest are 30 by 40 metres, and you could park a jumbo jet on these structures, and the weight is close to 1,000 tonne.
The work will involve several vessels from Subsea 7 and from our joint venture, Sapura Acergy. The Sapura 3000 will install 20 structures and 21 spool pieces. A deep water lowering system has been purpose-built for the deep water deployment. The Scandi Acergy will install 6 infield umbilicals, 42 spool pieces and 57 flying leads at both the Gorgan and Janz IO fields. The Rockwater 2 will provide pre-commissioning support following completion of the main installation activities. Along with these core vessels, we will be deploying many other support vessels, tugs and barges.
I've been at sea all my life. I've been captain on assorted ships since the mid-80s and captain on the Sapura 3000 for the last 18 months or so. She's a great vessel and I'm very happy to be master on her.
In terms of priority, it's personnel, environment and then equipment, so it's vessel.
It is a very large project. The attitude is the most important thing, I believe.
Safety is something that we should be embedded in us every day, about how we go about our operations or execution of a task at hand. It's something that we can live and breathe inside us. It's not a priority as such.
I mean, for me, this project would not be a success if we hurt anybody. If we hurt anybody in this project, then for me, the project's a failure.
There shouldn't be any pressure from the Subsea 7 management team or the Chevron management team to get things done in a hurry. The job needs to be done properly or in the time that it needs to take to do it.
What I've found is sometimes concentrating on the 5% of people that are maybe not doing the right thing, you're missing the trick with the 95% who are. And if you get a culture of the majority of people doing the right thing, which I see on a workplace, the others will follow. It's building a culture, and the culture will flow throughout an organisation. And we've seen that in Subsea 7. You know, that's a very strong message from our CEO. Our values, our culture, our accountability, our leadership really is our foundation.
Wherever we work around the world, we always recognise our responsibilities to the environment.
The offshore environment in the northwest is pristine. It is beautiful and we need to keep it that way.
One of the other particularly important things, I guess, is marine fauna observation. So anything that we see, you know, whales, sharks, dugongs, turtles, anything that we see while we're on the vessels need to be reported. So there's people on board that are responsible for that. It sounds like a lot of procedures and processes and things, but when you go out on board and you see how beautiful the environment is out there, everyone's really keen to contribute and everyone wants to be involved.
Barrow Island has been a Class A nature reserve since 1910. Subsea 7 has an important role to play in ensuring the integrity of the unique maritime environment around Barrow is protected. The care we take now will impact on the legacy we leave for our children for the years to come. Everyone at Subsea 7 must commit to caring for the environment by complying with the strict quarantine requirements that have been developed to preserve the island's ecology and that of the marine environment surrounding it.
The majority of us have been part of the marine environment for a lot of our careers and live on the water on board vessels. So we're very, very passionate about keeping the environment in a pristine state. And the way we go about managing our garbage controls on board, discharges into the water, our oil spill capability offshore is very, very important to us, and we test that robustly throughout the year.
Quarantine will still be big on this project because we're importing stuff from Batam down to Henderson. Quarantine also impacts the environment, so we don't want to be introducing species or unwanted species into Australia, and we'll be doing a lot of work, in particular in Indonesia, to make sure what we're bringing into Australia is sound and we're not introducing anything that we shouldn't be.
The past, present and future success of Subsea 7 depends on our people. Our ability to execute challenging projects safely, effectively and efficiently is based on our professionalism and our expertise.
We'll have a design review and we'll focus on a number of areas, one of them being how safe is this, does it meet the safety requirements, does it meet Subsea 7's safety requirements, and does it meet the client's requirements and technical specifications.
The big pleasure out of this sort of work is taking a team of guys offshore, or a team of people offshore, and being able to build something and actually produce the results that many people have been working on shore for many, many months or years.
Put a lot of effort into making our working environment as safe as can be made. And every single piece of feedback that we can get as vessel management counts. Everything is acted upon, and we've got a long history in this company of taking the feedback we get very seriously and acting upon it.
I'll give you an example, a very powerful one. I've recently been on one of our fabrication sites in Vietnam, and a young engineer stopped the whole of production, which was on critical path, because there was breach of a permit. A young engineer felt empowered enough by the project to stop critical production on the whole fabrication site for the Gorgan project. Is an important message, and communicating that for me is that's where our values are.
Know that you're going to be looked after. Know that if you see something that's a concern, have the courage to speak up and we're going to support you. Given that you are green to the field, we want to make sure that you have the guidance and the mentorship offshore to make sure that you are going to be safe. You're not going to fully understand all the risks. We're going to take you through that process so you do understand them. We want to make sure that you are looked after every step of the way until you're no longer the new kid on the block.
Wherever we work, we engage highly skilled people who share our commitment to safely delivering the best result with the smallest possible impact on the environment. We employ people who are motivated to perform at their best and take pride in their contribution as valued members of the team.
The biggest secret to success that we found is early engagement. You need to try and identify who you're going to be bringing in to make up that team, and then you need to get them involved in constructabilities, risk assessments, all of the little gates that we go through to get to where we are before the job goes live.
It's all about communication and about human interaction, and if we can make that process as easy and as comfortable as possible for everybody, then it benefits the whole project.
Gorgan is essential to meet growing energy needs in Australia and the wider Asia-Pacific region. Subsea 7 is excited by the challenges and the opportunities that come with being responsible for major components of this massive, iconic Australian project.
It is hard to imagine, and I think it's not going to sink in until you actually see something happening, whether it be in a yard or whether it be standing on the back deck watching something happen that hasn't been done here before. It's going to be quite incredible, actually.
It's a really good thing to see such a massive project for Australia completed. It will be huge, so I'm definitely proud to be on this project. It's a massive project, it's causing headaches, it's hard work, but once it's completed, it's going to be good fun.
We're proud to be working with the highly trained and motivated Australian crews who have done so much to build Australia's offshore industry. We welcome your contribution to this historic, nation-building project, a contribution you and your family will be justly proud of making.
And success for us is very much about so many people involved, so many boats, so many vessels, so many locations. But for me, success is to be able to say at the end of this, nobody got hurt, people were happy, enjoyed working on the project. Then that for me is success, because as human beings, that's the sort of success we search for in our lives, and it's what makes us happy.
Be prepared, be ready, and have a think of what you can bring to this project. Whatever you do in your work for us, no matter where you do it to the best of your ability. And do it safely, ensuring that we all return home safe and well.